Nonsense Season 3, Episode 43, our big story and our second show of the week. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Skittle.
This time, ditch the drama, embrace the dream. Approaches for Better Sleep Part 2 up next.
Oh, we're doing more sleep? I love it.
Yeah, we only got about halfway through our notes last time, and we didn't even get to melatonin, which is kind of a major oversight.
Well, ironically, it's because we fell asleep halfway through.
Might have been, yeah. Also, you wanted to talk about some Fakakta 28-hour day thing.
Oh, okay. So your ideas are science and mine are Fakakta?
You know what's a huge sleep aid?
Oh, what's that?
Sex.
Oh, you're right. My ideas are Fakakta. Yeah, let's talk about your ideas.
This is our last show before our summer hiatus. That's right. We're giving ourselves 2 weeks off this summer. We'll be back Tuesday, August 26th with more headlines.
Wait, hold on. What if we merge the two? What if we have 28 hours of sex? Would that work?
The Art of the Power Down, Options for Better Sleep Part 2. Let's go.
I mean, we'd need hydration breaks, but I think it would work. I think we could make it happen.
When the struggle for a good night's sleep feels like a battle, the world of sleep hacks offers an arsenal of solutions. These aren't old wives' tales. They're clever, often science-backed adjustments to your routine designed to optimize your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. From fine-tuning your diet and exercise regimen to creating the perfect bedroom environment, sleep hacks promise to transform your restless nights. And when lifestyle changes aren't enough, there are last-resort supplements like melatonin, which can act as a helping hand to nudge your body's internal clock in the right direction. And yes, orgasms will help most people sleep more deeply.
Look, what we're saying, everybody, you need to bone your way to a better night's sleep.
We'll get to that. But first, we thought we could discuss some of the more popular sleep hacks. Obviously, avoid large meals, caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol close to bedtime. And as we discussed last time, the absolute most effective way to get a good night's sleep is to get out of bed at the same time every day. That seems to be pretty much universally effective. What else have you got? Have you got any good sleep hacks you use?
Lingerie, assless chaps, and a sex swing.
I derailed the show by mentioning that, didn't I?
I can't think about anything else now. Just a squirrel with a little ball of tinfoil. That's all. Like everything else, I'm like, Mello, what? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a couple go-tos. I mentioned on our, I think on our last episode, that one of the biggest changes that has helped me is that reverse alarm, just setting a bedtime alarm.
Yeah.
And I think the modern phones, like iOS does this lovely. I'm sure Android has the same thing.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure iOS invented it. So I try to pair that sleep alarm with some night ritual. Now, this is not the turn off the lights to get me to stop. That's stick. Yeah. I'm saying more carrot. And that's like, I'm going to go wash my face and brush my teeth.
I have been talking to you when your lights suddenly start turning off in your office.
And what do? Just turn them back on. I am such a monkey. When I'm supposed to respond to this and I'm like, oh, damn, I'm just going to turn these things back on. It has absolutely no effect on me whatsoever. But hey, do as I say, not as I do. Personally, the thing I respond to the most, this is not just for sleep, this is for everything in my life, is audio stimulus.
Yeah.
And that's for focusing, for staying awake, also for sleep. I find the pink and brown noises to be the most effective, sort of the, like rustling leaves or waterfalls. I love rain, even thunderstorms.
Love rain.
Unfortunately, my partner hates it.
Yeah.
Hates it. Can't. It's not an option.
Yeah.
But every now and again, if I really need help, I'll put in AirPods or IEMs and turn something on, and it totally helps. I think it's a brainwave sinking to deep state something.
The sound of my dog snoring.
Oh, that's a metronome.
Oh man, it puts me under.
That's the cutest furry metronome possible. Of course, it puts you under.
There's just something about it. The world is at peace.
This is what we need to make. We need to make adult Furbies. Furbies for adults that all they do is snore. They're little furry things that don't say things, they just snore. Forget your CPAP machine. That thing would probably knock you right out. This happens for about the first 6 minutes when my kid does this. One of my kids does this to me.
Before your kid gets really hot.
And then the next 6 hours, they are an inferno that is kicking my kidneys as hard as they can. My youngest too, this kid is hysterical because if he's in bed with an adult, and namely I mean his mother, he cannot sleep without docking to her. He has to take his forehead and press it against hers and dock in order to fall asleep. And he does it every time. His forehead finds hers and they just dock.
And he stays and sleeps that way?
And he stays that way. And if you move, his forehead will just find hers. He doesn't do it to me. He only does it to her.
Sure.
It's the funniest thing. Of our two kids, he's the only one that does it, but it's hysterical. The other thing that works for me is what they call cognitive shuffling, right? So just jumbling up random unrelated words or images in your mind. Mm-hmm. And that basically distracts your brain so that you can get away from the thoughts that are either stressing you out or just causing your brain to use cycles. So I'll just be like, banana, cloud, stapler, octopus. I'll just put random, and that seems to help. It's like giving my inner monologue a toy to play with, basically.
As you get older, you'll see you don't have to force cognitive shuffling.
Oh, good. I have this to look forward to.
Your brain just prattles on nonsensically on its own.
This is like when you find yourself in a Whole Foods with no pants, and you're like, how did I get here? What am I looking for? Where's the toothpaste?
Why is there a microphone in front of me? Why come I'm not napping?
Every episode of seasons 1, 2, and 3 have been that.
Muscular relaxation. Tell me me about that. Do you use that?
Man, I have. So muscular relaxation is like where you start from your
This is the military
toes.
thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's the military style, right, of sleeping, where you basically take a micro muscle on your body, you start at your toes, you tense them and then release, and tense them and release. You do this for, like a couple times, 5 seconds each.
All the way up your
body. And then
body.
you slowly progress up the body. And I think it's more trying to get you into something sequential, and it's supposed to like allow those muscles to relax is the concept. Mm-hmm. The problem I have with it, every time I try to do it, I don't make it all the way up my body. I end up falling asleep halfway through, so I don't think it really works. I find that I do this a lot when you're talking. Just start tensing my muscles. No, it works for some people. I don't do it very often. I don't really know if it works or not.
What else have you heard about? What you got others?
Oh man, some people love, what do they call it, like gratitude or worry dump journaling, where they just take
sure.
like whatever they're thankful for or whatever is causing them anxiety, and they dump it from their brain like to a notebook, so that it's no longer bouncing around in their brain. I think it's a great idea. It does not work on me though, and I suspect it doesn't work on you, because I already do this with everything in my life. I try to remember nothing and write everything down.
I'm a compulsive note taker.
Yeah, so it's like if I have to do something, it goes on a to-do list or in my calendar. Yeah. That's it, full stop. I don't remember. The next day, the software will tell me.
I cannot remember if I don't write it down. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist on my schedule.
Totally. Tuesday, recording nonsense. All right, sure. Yep. Big surprise. Focused breathing is supposed to be effective, where you do like, 2 quick inhales and then a long exhale. You repeat that a couple times, or some folks will do a short 4 or 5 second inhale followed by an 8 to 10 second exhale. Do that 5 to 10 times. It's supposed to lower your heart rate, stimulate the parasympathetic activity, and sort of make your body, trust that it's not in danger and it can relax. So that's an option.
Okay.
Some folks love scent hacking. They'll use scents.
I love the idea of scent hacking. I've never tried it, but to me that seems like it would completely work for me.
I think it's another one of these things. It's like sort of like
routine,
brushing your teeth and washing your face. It's the routine of, I smell this now.
This is the smell I'm used to when I go to sleep. I have the smell of apples and cinnamon. Yeah. Whatever it is that, floats your boat.
We used a form of this scent hacking. It's actually how we ended up with 2 kids, but the scent was chloroform. And I just misted that in front of my wife, and then, 9 months later, the stork brought us a baby.
So when we come back from the break and it's just me, people will know why.
Yeah. She's been working on the paperwork for a while, but we're getting close. But my favorite of these, and I think I kind of do this, maybe subconsciously, they call it paradoxical intention. Yeah. And this is when you basically psych yourself out, right? You tell yourself that you're going to stay awake. You're not going to fall asleep. You want to stay awake.
It's your reverse psychology.
Yeah. And it removes that pressure of falling asleep, which makes you, ironically, fall asleep. Yeah. Those are the ones that I've heard of. If there's any other ones you've heard of that are worth?
I got a big one, and it's has nothing to do with blue lights. Just
on sex.
Yeah, no, that's coming. Not staring at lights.
Oh yeah.
Before you go to bed. Yeah. Don't look at the TV. Stop looking at your phone. Put down your tablet. Turn off the lights in the bedroom. Turn the lights down. That last hour before you go to sleep, at least the last hour before you go to sleep, stop staring at lights. Turn the lights down.
I can't fall asleep without the TV.
I know.
Right? I mean, some people say that, and I'm like,
and caffeine doesn't affect me at all.
No effect at all.
I can drink a caffeine right before I go to bed. I'm totally fine, says the person who can't sleep at all at night.
What else have you convinced yourself of recently?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Been there, done that.
The phone is not helping you go to sleep. No. The phone is keeping you from going to sleep.
Fortunately, as our listeners know, I basically watch zero TV since I never have a recommendation that's TV-based every week. Sure. But there is like this blue moon where I will watch some show that I want to watch because I got to bed a couple minutes earlier and I feel like, I'll watch some TV. 6 hours later, I've binge watched every episode of The Boys, and I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. What just happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, the TV does not lull me to sleep.
For me, it's Moneyball. Yeah. I come across Moneyball on the television. Doesn't matter what time of night it is. It could be 2 in the morning.
You watch it.
If the movie is just starting or if it's down to his last 15 minutes, I take the ride to the very end without fail.
Anyway, yes, not staring at lights, I think, is a really good one. I probably should have put that at the top.
We didn't get to melatonin supplements last time, and melatonin is different from alcohol, THC, sleeping pills, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Propofol. It's different from that because it doesn't actually disrupt your regular REM cycles. Yeah. It actually can, in severe cases, help people get to sleep who really, really need it. I would do everything in the world possible before I got to a hormonal supplement to help myself sleep, and I would certainly do it as little as possible. Totally. I mean, I would take it very, very seriously if I were in need of it.
I mean, look, a couple disclosures here. One, neither of us are medical professionals. Two, neither of us take melatonin. No. And I don't even have a close relationship with anybody who does.
But I do know from research that it does not affect your REM cycles like alcohol and THC THC.
It doesn't
and all the rest of
adversely
those
affect
things.
them. I think it actually helps you get into REM. Like it is effective.
It can make your REM cycle longer
and more vivid, right? I think you have more recollection of your REM cycle, which isn't solely a factor of the melatonin. It's part of, if you haven't been in REM for quite some time, you will have more rich REM cycles, is my understanding too.
Sure.
But the point I want to make here is before you jump into the melatonin bandwagon, and I know so many of us, especially Americans, want to take a pill to fix everything.
Sure.
Before you jump into this, I think you really want to fix everything else that you can. You want to try to do all the sleep hygiene that you can before you jump into this. Making sure you've got a relaxing bedtime routine, you've got a friendly bedroom, you don't have a bunch of lights pointed in your eyes, as you mentioned, right? Not just blue light, but like all light, arguably.
Yeah.
You already mentioned this earlier, like don't consume a bunch of caffeine immediately before you go to bed. Like that's probably not good.
Seems kind of obvious, right?
Like exercising helps, especially as more and more of us sit at a desk most of the day. I have found that doing some physical exertion will help tire you out.
But don't exercise an hour or two before you go to bed, because that's going to get your blood pressure up.
My point is exhaust all of these things. Clean all of this up first before you go to the pill supplement. That I think is probably the best advice I could give.
Again, we are not doctors. Make sure you seek professional medical advice before you begin anything like this.
Yeah.
Please take these supplements very, very seriously.
Now, I do like the idea of having more REM recollection. I think that's lovely.
You want to know more about your crazy dreams?
I mean, you already bought the CPU. So, like, why have it just running in idle mode? You might as well get some value out of it, right? I don't want to...
You want to see the movie.
Yeah. Like, I don't want it... Like, even if it's a rough cut, I still want to see it. It's just going to fade away, but I still want to see it. Like, I built the thing. I paid for the rendering.
I can remember my dreams for about 5 minutes after I've woken up, and then they're just gone.
Yeah, that's kind of the best part. I love the like, oh man, that was really good, and then literally 3 minutes later, it's just poof.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's incredible that our brains have evolved that way to separate reality or whatever our perception of reality is from this non-reality state. It's pretty cool. There is something that is super interesting where I think melatonin applies, and this is what they call REM sleep behavior disorder.
Yes.
So this is where melatonin is commonly a first line treatment for this what they call RBD, sleep behavior disorder. This is a state where normal muscle paralysis during REM sleep is absent, right? So people will physically act out their dreams. In this context, melatonin is thought to help restore the brain's ability to maintain this muscle atonia during REM sleep. Mm-hmm. This is really fascinating and will like actually reduce the risk of injury for people. It's a very specific and targeted use. It does not affect a lot of people, but it's pretty incredible that they can sort of supplement this melatonin to get you to go into that REM sleep where you're supposed to be effectively paralyzed so that your muscles don't do what your brain is like acting out in fantasy land. Have you ever woken up when you're still in muscle paralysis? Like, have you ever had consciousness and muscle paralysis?
Oh, so many times I can't even count.
Really? Oh, it's only happened to me once or twice.
I don't love it. I panic. I'm just like, I can't do anything. My body won't move. I have no control over my body.
You still go to panic?
For whatever reason.
Like, it takes you a minute to realize.
Totally.
Interesting.
Oh, it feels like it's way more than a minute. I'm sure it's not.
Do you come out of panic before you regain muscle control, or do you stay in a panic state until you regain muscle control?
I'm in a panic state until I regain muscle control. No monsters are chasing me.
Sure.
There's nothing. I just, for whatever reason, I can't control my muscles. I don't have any control of my body.
This, I think you'll appreciate. Early in my relationship with my wife, we were laying in bed and I like did something terrible. I cracked my neck, right? It was just a very loud neck crack. Mm-hmm. And there was just kind of this awkward silence in the room that I just love. And then I said, I can't feel my legs. And she just looked at me and like I could not hold the smile, and I tried so hard.
She just rolled over and went to sleep.
She wiped the tears from her eyes.
Completely ignored you.
And then she immediately went on Tinder and tried to find something better. Oh my God, it was so funny though when I did it. It was just it was great. Like most of these jokes are just for me, as you've come to figure out, but it was really funny.
Have you ever flown when you dream? Did you ever fly when you were a kid? Did you ever fly in your dreams?
Oh, literally, I was like, well, I was on a Southwest flight once and I had a dream. I don't know what's the point of that. I was so confused. I swear to you, when you asked that question, I was like, well, yeah, I think I've been on a couple flights before.
Oh my word! For most of my life, and until I was married, I never saw a takeoff. I would get in the plane and that hum of the engine, and that smell of the kerosene burning, and I would just be out cold.
Have I ever flown in my dreams? I'm assuming. Here's the problem. I don't know if I have much recollection of any of my dreams.
You have no recollection of ever flying. Do you have any recollection of doing like the classic school dream where?
No, I've never had that.
Oh my gosh!
I swear I've never had that.
You can't remember where this class is. You've never been, and the final is due today, and you've got to find the classroom, and you can't find the classroom.
I literally don't think I've ever had that dream. I believe I've had the flying sense before. I don't remember it as an outstanding memory, but I believe I've had that. The classic, like you're giving a speech in front of a bunch of people and my favorite place to be is where a bunch of people are looking at me, waiting for me to speak.
Sure, of course. That's hardly a nightmare.
Just call that Tuesday. Like, well, that's just like a regular state for me.
Totally.
I've always been a fan of school. I've never been anxious or leery of going to school. So that's never been a state that I've had where I've been like afraid of that.
Oh, I had that dream for decades.
Really?
There's a class. It's on my schedule. Today's the final. I've never gone to the class, and I've got to go find this room so that I can take a final I know on a subject that I know nothing about. I've had that dream more times and it stopped coming in about the last 20 years or so. But for the longest time, I would have that dream and have that dream.
Sure.
And the reality is, you know me, that was never my world.
Of course.
I'm crazy. I actually am the person who loves learning. I took a lot of classes.
But I wonder if that's why.
Don't know.
If you were so afraid of that happening, that was always in the back, like, I'm not going to be late for this thing. I'm not, like, if that's in somewhere floating around your subconscious, L2 in your brain.
Sure.
That then when you go to sleep, it bubbles up. The thing that you were afraid of bubbles up. I don't know. I don't know enough about sleep state. But
I loved the classes I got to take.
Yeah, of course,
I loved the teachers I got to learn under. I loved getting a front row seat, so I would be like right there, you couldn't look away.
For me, the dreams that, again, I don't have full recollection, but the ones that I presume I had a lot of was like watching someone take the last 3 pieces of shrimp from the buffet. And then I would just be in such a state of woe because I'm waiting now for more of the shrimp to come up.
The shrimp would never be a concern for me. Have all the shrimp you want in front of me.
You see, this is the difference between us.
All right, so what are some of the more outlandish concepts you were talking about before?
There's some stuff that I think a lot of people will call crazy, but I think it's worth chatting about.
Yeah.
The first one that I do not think is crazy, I think our culture here has made it crazy, is this calculated nap, right? The siesta.
Yes.
To me, that is one of the best things I've done as a, quote, sleep hack in my life. I learned that this is an acceptable thing years ago from a book called Take a Nap, Change Your Life. This is by Sarah Mednick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a link in the show notes. It's a great book. She's a researcher at the Salk Institute and is one of the leading authorities on sort of the study of the nap.
There are whole cultures that embrace the siesta.
Yes. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Like if you think about people, all the people that exist in humanity, most of them have embraced naps.
And part of it is just sunlight. You just don't want to be working during those super hot hours.
Super hot.
So let's take a little break, go take a nap.
You've had your nourishment. You want to digest it.
Come back refreshed. Yeah.
As Americans, we generally look at that and go, oh, you're lazy.
Right.
If you're taking a nap midday, you're lazy. And I've had pretty heated debates with friends and business partners in the past around this. For me, better than a high dose of caffeine or multiple high doses of caffeine or running around the block, taking a quick nap makes all the difference in the world.
Quick is a key word there.
Yeah,
You're talking about 30 minutes or less.
They fall into different buckets. There's really 2 things that I want to articulate here. One is when you take the nap, and the other is how long of a nap you take.
Oh, yeah. When matters.
Typically, the when is between, for the what I'll call the average person, right? Someone who's waking up in the morning and going to bed at night, not working like a weird third shift or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to take it too late because then you're going to risk wrecking your night sleep. You don't want to take it too early because you're not going to get that benefit across the day. So typically, you're in that sort of 1 to 3 p.m. window. Mm-hmm. And look, don't take one if you don't need it. Don't like force yourself to take a nap. I think it's a terrible idea. And don't take a nap to escape life. It's not because you don't want to deal with your emails or whatever. Those are all wrong reasons. And if you're taking a nap daily to feel less terrible, it's worth checking on bigger issues. For me, this is a battery recharge. And what I found is that sweet spot is typically 10 to 20 minutes. You're avoiding deep sleep. You're getting refreshed beyond what you would get from a shot of espresso. And you come up not necessarily with a clear slate, but refreshed. Yeah. And I think that's the most important point. You wake up, you feel great. Up to sort of 30 minutes, you can get out before you get into REM stages. You get, sort of a cognitive boost. I'll find like a little bit of a creativity reset. Yeah. Past that, you get into 45 to 90 minutes. You've gone through a full sleep cycle, right? You've gone into deep and REM sleep. What Sarah talks about in her book and what I've come to sort of at least empirically back up is the duration of the nap changes what you get out of the nap, right? That 10 to 20 minute, even 30-minute nap it's a quick reset. It's like a battery reset. You've got energy, you've got stamina, but you don't have a blank slate. It's that 45 to 90-minute nap where you get that creative
you want to avoid.
Yeah. Well, but it depends on if you want that or not. If that's something that you want and benefit from that day, I think you should definitely do it. There's no stigma around it. The point here is duration matters. And if you experiment with different durations and different times, I think you can find the benefits of what these are. Everyone should play with this, in my opinion, and try to figure out what works and how they affect them differently. Anyway, big fan of naps. Yeah. I hear people talk about yoga Nidra and NSDR. I don't know. This is this non-sleep deep rest. It's like this guided meditation meets power napping. Yeah. I've read a bit about it. I haven't tried to do it. I typically have a very hard time getting myself into a blank slate while I'm consciousness, sort of that meditation state. This is something I'd like to be better at, but I've heard a lot of folks folks talk about it. Bed temperature control is this other sort of non-standard, outlandish concept. I have not done this, but I've had a lot of folks tell me to go look at 8 Sleep, which is one of these water-cooled mattresses where you and your partner can have different temperatures and it'll adjust the temperature throughout the night. It sounds super interesting. I'm not crazy about putting a water-filled pad on top of my bed. That sounds like not a great idea. The most outlandish sleep hack that I've come across, and I did try this. I did not give this the full college try.
Yes.
But I would be absolutely remiss to not bring it up here, is the 28-hour day. This is what I believe you referred to as verkakta. You call this verkakta. I'm sorry, my Italian's not great.
It's Yiddish.
Sure. This is where you change your definition of a day entirely. So forget hundreds of millions of years of circadian rhythm. We're going to throw that all away.
Also, forget coordinating your schedule with anyone else in the universe.
Well, there's other 28 hours out there, all 4 of them.
The 3 of you can have a good time.
Here's the concept. You change a day from 24 hours to 28 hours.
And you do this like Superman, you fly around the world really fast in the opposite direction.
Right, you're not taking this seriously. I didn't make this up. This is a thing that's been postulated. Some people have shared results that, frankly, I find to be way too promising, but they've claimed that it works. There's a bunch of calculators online. There's like a GitHub calculator I'll put in where you can slide this around and make it work for your schedule. What's interesting about it is you end up with like a fairly regular Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you line it up correctly. And then you have this like really oddball Friday. And then you get like a party Saturday, Sunday, right? Like where you're just like up all night, sleeping in the middle of the day. Like it's kind of interesting.
So I'm only getting 6 sleeps a week.
So you're only getting 6 sleeps a week. Yes, that is
Instead
correct.
of 7.
That is correct. But what you've done now is you've taken out, let's say you sleep for 8 hours a day. You've taken that 8 hours a week and just put it back into your schedule. Now, what most folks recommend is of that 8 hours, you take at least 2 to 4 of them and put them into sleep on other days, into those other 6-hour days, right? Which I think makes sense. So you're really getting a free 4 to 6 hours across the week.
But I'm only getting 6 sleeps a week.
Yeah.
I want a 20-hour day where I can get 8 sleeps a week.
I knew you were going to say this. You want to go the other way. You want the 8-day week. You don't want the 6-day week.
Exactly.
You want like, how do I get more sleep? Sir, that's called napping. You can just do some napping. There's some interesting benefit though in also having like your daily activities happening 6 times a week as opposed to 7. Like in theory, you cut out a whole cycle of meals, right? If you eat 3 meals a day, you've just taken 3 meals out. And that actually looks to be one of the bigger problems with this. Once you get over the whole weird time cycling, you have to eat more per sitting because you're still using the same calories across the week. It's really fascinating. I know you're laughing at me, but it's really fascinating. And I did try this.
I'm trying so hard not to.
I tried this for like a week and a half in my 20s. And I was like, I literally came to the conclusion at the end. I was like, what am I doing? Like this,
what in
it's
the world?
just, I was not committed to it. Like I really wish I would have been more committed to it. I couldn't imagine trying to do this with kids or like you said earlier, with any other human that you interact with.
Any connection to the universe.
Yeah, but if you're introverted and you know, if you live in a Sprinter van, you've got Starlink, like go to town, man. Like why not? Okay. Anyway, I think it's super interesting. And anybody who likes the idea of sort of hacking around with sleep and sleep cycles, this is at least worth reading about because it is really fascinating.
I'll throw just one more sleep hack here. Yep. Your bed is not your work desk. Leave your room once you wake up. Don't hang out in bed.
Well, tell that to all the mattress actresses out there.
And of course, the one we had last episode, wake up at the same time every day.
Yes.
People say they can't get out of bed at a specific time because they'll be groggy all day. Let's say somebody wakes up regularly at noon, but would like to be waking up at 7 without feeling like they aren't rested.
Okay.
Creep it back a half an hour a day.
Sure.
You don't have to make the jump all in one day.
Of course. That's very logical and this is very effective. But let me just back up for a second. If you were to imagine a Venn diagram and the circle on the left are the number of people that are sleeping in until noon and the circle on the right are the number of people that want to wake up at 7 a.m., those two circles are about 3 kilometers apart. There's no overlap. There are no people that are waking up at noon being like, man, I really wish I woke up at 7 a.m. Zero.
You know what else is a great, I forgot about this. We have to write this down. This is a great sleep hack. Anytime you think about a Venn diagram,
just right to bed.
Goes right to sleep. I'm out cold.
Right to sleep. Right to sleep. Okay, I'm going to draw 2 circles.
Gone. That's it. I'm done.
What do you got against Venn diagrams? Man, you are spicy today.
All right. Finally, the reason anyone stayed tuned into this, they want to hear about sex and sleep.
Yep. I have found, generally speaking, this is a good idea, but I have found typically when the other person wakes up, they're very surprised.
It's shocked they're there. Okay, Bill Cosby. Many people find that an orgasm, whether from partnered sex or masturbation, is a highly effective sleep hack. The reason behind it isn't just psychological. There's a powerful physiological process at play.
Yeah. Okay. Look, Jeff, I'm married with 2 kids. kids. I wouldn't know about any of this.
Here is precisely how orgasms help you sleep. An orgasm triggers a significant release of a cocktail of hormones and neurotransmitters that are directly linked to feelings of relaxation, well-being, and sleepiness. And these include oxytocin, often called the love hormone. Oxytocin promotes feelings of connection and calm. It's literally why you feel so connected to your partner after sex.
Not the handcuffs.
It also helps lower the levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. By reducing stress and anxiety, oxytocin helps the mind and body shift into a state that's more conducive to sleep. Prolactin is the hormone released in high amounts after an orgasm, and it's associated with the feelings of satisfaction and contentment. Prolactin levels are naturally higher during sleep, and the post-orgasm spike in this hormone is thought to be the key reason why people feel so drowsy and ready for rest.
So it's not the chloroform.
Endorphins are your body's natural painkillers and mood boosters. The endorphin release during an orgasm creates a sense of euphoria that can help alleviate any minor aches, pains, or discomfort that might be keeping you awake.
I've tried that one on my wife. Doesn't work. I'm like, you got a headache? Oh, this will help.
Serotonin. This neurotransmitter plays a crucial role in regulating mood and sleep cycles. Its release helps combat feelings of anxiety and can promote a more peaceful state of mind before bed.
These poor listeners
Yes.
stuck around to hear about sex and sleep, and then it turned into a sex ed class.
Oh, yeah. It's science.
Do you have a film strip you're going to play later? What's happening?
The science of why sex makes you sleep is boring.
Amazingly, you've got me even not interested in this
It's
now.
hard to make sex not interesting, but it works.
All right, cancel the order for the clowns.
This is the part where I put in the thing to say it's important to note that while orgasms are a great sleep aid for many, they aren't a guaranteed fix for everyone. A small number of people may feel energized or more alert after an orgasm, which can make falling asleep even more difficult. However, for the majority, the hormonal and psychological benefits make it a very effective and enjoyable natural sleep remedy.
And true story, this is why I'm no longer allowed inside of CVS, because I would stand next to the melatonin section with a sign that says, having trouble sleeping, inquire within.
I can help.
Yep, nope, going to Walgreens now.
All right, we have to get out of here, but quickly before we do, have you seen or read anything good this last week?
Well, yes, the side of a melatonin bottle. I've been writing my name in next to it, all of the bottles at CVS. Well, yes, this is probably, I think this might be the nerdiest thing I've ever recommended on this show. You can be the judge of that.
Yeah.
This is the 28th International Obfuscated C Code Contest. This is the legendary, at least among us nerds, contest to write the most obscure and obfuscated C program within a fairly loose set of rules. It demonstrates the importance of programming style in an ironic way while emphasizing the value of obvious and lucid code by the use of negative examples. And most importantly, it allows us all to have fun with C, because who doesn't need more fun with C?
More fun with C, yay!
Now, this year, very complicated, marked the 40th anniversary of the IOCCC.
Well, of course, the 28th edition of the contest would happen on the 40th anniversary of it.
I'm glad you caught that. So they opened submissions earlier this year on March 5th through June 5th, right? This is after a 4-year pause. Let me remind you, this is the 2024 edition of this that opened and closed in 2025. And I'm like, you nerds, what are you doing? Over the past 4 years, a significant portion of that time was an effort by many people with over 6,100 commits, code commits, to rebuild the official website, right? There was just this old, tired site. They rebuilt the whole thing. When they merged it live, they referred to it as the Great Fork Merge. Again, super nerds.
Sure.
And another portion of those 4 years went into retooling the systems they had underneath that, including the creation of a new toolkit, registration process, like a submit server. They've really built this thing to survive, and I think that is fantastic. So if you're a software nerd, please check out the links in the show notes. You'll enjoy perusing the 2024 winners. Yes, this is in 2025. For a few minutes, I promise my favorite, I'm not going to tell you. If anybody comments and asks, I will. But if you look through some of these, there are some really great examples of obfuscated C code that I really think if you're a software developer, you will love. If you're a vibe coder, this is not for you. This is not going to be interesting. It's going to just confuse you. You should stay in Claude. But for everybody else, I think it's pretty neat.
We are the last generation of people who will really appreciate this.
I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess how many times have you and I got excited over some assembly hack? Like, oh, look at that guy. He just moved from
That's exactly
A, B. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're dinosaurs. I'm going to just go over and die now. How about you? What have you seen this past week?
A film our friend Josh Deutsch recommended to me, 2004 psychological thriller, The Machinist. Trapped in a waking nightmare, Trevor Resnick hasn't slept in a year. His emaciated frame is a monument to his guilt. The line between reality and hallucination blurs with each passing day. As his paranoia grips him, he unravels a terrifying conspiracy. But is the danger real, or is the Machinist the architect of his own torment? Christian Bale's astonishingly committed performance is really why you want to see this. You don't want to see this to help you sleep, because it's not going to.
The opposite. This is your shot of caffeine. Great. Good.
This movie's going to keep you up at night. As the late Roger Ebert noted near the end of the movie, we understand him when he simply says, I just want to sleep.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
The Machinist streaming now on YouTube, movies, and TV.
I want to check this out. I'm not sure that I should.
Yeah, it's definitely unnerving.
Maybe I'll skip this one.
That is the episode.
Thank you for joining us for All This Nonsense, a truly terrible podcast from our awful company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions. I'm Stu.
I'm Jeff Parker.
If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, AntennaPod, iHeartRadio, Spotify, my favorite Overcast, wherever you may get your podcasts from.
Nonsense uses Wikipedia, even though your high school teacher said you couldn't. Unlock the world's knowledge free and ad-free. Wikipedia is your portal to billions of facts, figures, and fascinating insights, all created, curated, and updated by a global community.
Now, normally we'd be here every Tuesday and Thursday mornings for more nonsense, except for the next 2 weeks while we're on hiatus.
Yep.
We hope you'll join us when we return.
We'll see.
Bye-bye.
I take attendance.
Here. No, not here. Mark? Not here. Matt? No, not here.
And now.
The one thing that I didn't put in,
Yeah.
the one extra sleep hack that I got from multiple listeners,
Yes.
not one, but multiple listeners on this show,
Okay.
was they said their sleep hack was to listen to nonsense at 0.75x.
Sure.
And my response was, why are you texting this to me? I thought you were a friend.
0.75 sounds
Can
awful.
you imagine? That sounds more awful.
Oh, AI barbecue. How good is the AI barbecue?
Now you need to go f*** yourself, okay? That's a bridge too far.